Hello and welcome. My name is Ajaxpost and this is Computer Tycoon, and I think we're on episode 5, but I can definitely tell you we're in 1977. And if you watched the last episode, you will have noticed in some of the annotations I put up on the video, I made a complete mess of creating my last two home computer models. As you can kind of tell from here, 76.1 and 76.2 are in fact identical in every feature and attribute that you can imagine, and likewise the Office one is the same as the 76.1, because when I created the new computers I completely failed to go into the setup and add in the latest new technology. So the first thing we're going to do, and that explains I think why those designs weren't selling, is I'm going to archive those two and this one, archive that one too. Okay. And do I need to refresh this list? Yes. Yep. So they're now archived, and I can hide them now. While I'm clicking that, I might have mentioned it in the last video, that button had a little issue with it, that you clicked it and it then reverted, sorry, you deselected it, you clicked it to deselect it, and then as the day progressed and it updated the sales figures, the checkbox was ticked again, so it automatically reselected itself. So first off, a shout out to Andres, Progorian, the development company for the game, for being very quick and responsive in the last couple of updates they put out at the beginning of the month, fixing a number of bugs and some UI issues, and fixing some of the text as well, for resolving that very quickly and effectively, and just being very responsive to the people testing it and playing it and commenting on it on Steam. So if you're at all interested in the game, do check it out. It is in early access, but everything is so far looking pretty good. We've got a great roadmap, as I said in the last episode, and as I say, Andres is being very responsive and pushing the game forward, and giving us something which is going to be really, really good once the final version is released. I don't have a date on that. He's put out a roadmap for the next 8 months, which looks very, very exciting indeed. Anyway, let's get on to my actual game. Big up the developer by all means, but you want to see the game in action, don't you? So let's get on with that. So I'm going to create two new computers there using the latest research. One of the fixes that was put in was the default selection of research items here. So when you added when a new item was researched, it disappeared here from the being researched dialog from that frame, and was added to the list of all the stuff that had been done, and it was easy to get lost. So what Andres has done is put this default order in, so that the last thing researched is at the top of the list. So that was 10 mu was the last thing I researched, which reduced basically the production cost of those units. Okay, now I am still in a position where my PCs, right, my home computers, they're not PCs yet, are the fastest on the market. So I want to keep an eye on maintaining that advantage. So I need to look on the new tab, don't I? There we go. So my best and quickest advantage is probably going to be the 5-inch disk drive, which is a little way away. It shouldn't take too long to research, but what I'm thinking is if I get a quick hit with something very quick and easy, I'm thinking if we go into the joystick, which kind of, no, I'm going to go fax, because I've got printer and keyboard already, so it kind of fits in a fax machine into a kind of officey type of environment. So 660 research points, I think that will be a quick and easy add, and keep me kind of not too far, hopefully, behind my competitors in terms of features on my computers. I do really want to keep pushing the performance advantage I've got, so I'll add the 5-inch disk drive to that as well. Okay, let's see if I can build my new computers. Let's build them from scratch, shall we? There's the home computer, and we'll have none of those accessories. We will have the latest and fastest memory. I'm not quite sure why this is. I've tried to look it back in what I did earlier, but my oldest memory chip has the best performance. I'm not quite sure why. There we go. The CPU, the latest of those is this one here. That's the best performance. Take that one. The floppy disk. That's good. There's no GPU card at the moment. Power supply is still on that one. Storage. There we go. Motherboard. And the latest 10mu motherboard. Oh, I was going to check if I could actually get the mu symbol, whatever it is, from the keyboard, but I've forgotten to do that, so I'm not going to. And the operating system, and this is going to be the Tektron 77.1. I think in terms of capability, it's going to be pretty much the same as the previous models, but the production cost should be less. So we'll save that. If I go back here to my computers page, oh, I've got a performance uplift already. That's good. Right, yes, because I think I'm using the new processor, sorry, the older memory chip. Right, so let's create that prototype.
Your new computer model went into the testing phase.
Okay, let's keep an eye on our sales figures here. Are they progressing? Most of them are, with the exception of the Tektron, this one here. So let's take that one down to $16.99. Will that help it sell any? A good point. I raised this issue on the Steam forums about constantly reducing the price of my older equipment just to keep the sales going. And Andrews again replied to that, saying that yeah, that works, but bear in mind your total production capacity. That if you're selling older, more expensive hardware, or more expensive to produce hardware, although the sales might be good, they might be taking away productive capacity effectively from your newer and more efficient models. So keep that in mind. As we can see at the top here, my demand for production power is nowhere near yet my total capacity. So I'm happy, I think, to keep on selling these older models while I can, just to keep that share of the market up. It has that, I think they're all doing quite well. They will automatically archive, they'll disappear off the market. Take that one down, I think. They'll disappear off the market after 5 years automatically, I think. There was some comment on that on the forums. I think it still does it automatically. Is that selling? No, let's take it down a little bit more. So I'm looking to keep my money rolling in.
Your new computer model is polished.
Oh, excellent. So I've got a polished this one here. That's all ready to go. So let's just see how it compares to the other ones. That's doing fine. The features it's low on because there's no printer or keyboard. Everything else, the quality's got up slightly. Performance is good though, so just check if my feedback is still, yeah, still good, fastest computer on the market. So we will sell this for, how far can I go? Yeah, let's go for the recommended price, see if that works for me. Are we going to sell any? The word no is we're where we are last year. Oh dear. Okay. Is that going to work for me? No, that's not either. Yeah, I don't think it's too different from my previous models, which is the issue here. Oh, 4H, that'll do. Odd price, but no, it's not, is it? That 1137 is the production cost of that one, compared to, well, I've taken that one out. It would be nice here actually if you could see the actual production capacity cost of your units on there as well for quick comparison, see which one is the cheapest or most expensive to make.
Your new computer model is polished.
Oh, do you know why it's not selling? I'm sure I did this before. I didn't put it onto market. Ah, dear. Set the price, then hit market. And then it sells. Isn't that remarkable? Oh dear, oh dear. Once you tell people they can buy it, they will come into the shops and purchase it. It'll make sense when you... Oh dearie me. Right, okay, so I'm still making good money. And I need to make good money because I want to open a new office in South Korea, a new laboratory in particular, to bump up my research points. I think it'd be cheaper to do that. Now, I have got capacity, as you can see, so why do I not? I highlighted Germany, was it? Yeah, Germany's another good market for me. It's going to take 2 million off my bank balance. But I think if I can get that market, nobody else is in there yet. I should win that. Look at that. But again, one thing that'd be nice is on the stats, is if we can get a clearer idea of what's selling where. So more detail. I mean, at the moment the stats are fine as a sort of global overall view of it, of what you're doing in the marketplace. But it'd be nice to have that broken down a bit more. And again, that's all on the schedule for development. Again, I'm seeing I'm dominant in a lot of countries where I'm competing with others, which is fine. So Austria I am. I'm not in Switzerland, am I? The only odd one is Bosnia, which I... yeah, what is green? Let's click on Bosnia, so I've got it. There we go. Green is ease of use. Yeah, I can't really compare. Oh! I'm in there again now. Right. Yeah. It's amazing how things can change dramatically, which affects your bottom line. Look, I'm making good money still. How's my research going? Well, not too far off. On my sites, actually, before I go into that, let's go into marketing. Do I have any marketing options? That's okay, I think. I think I can buy that one. Yes, so I'll buy a promotion with that game. Well, that should happen quite soon. Should bolster my revenues again. So let's look at the sites. Guyana. I'm not going to increase their level of factory. One thing when I was sort of testing out the game before I started recording seriously the Let's Plays, I kept upgrading the buildings and I kept failing to notice the upkeep cost. So if I upgrade this laboratory to level 4, that's going to cost me 250,000 as an upkeep cost, which is more than I'm making. So that's not worth it, basically. A laboratory here in Suriname.
Your sponsored game is a massive hit.
Thank you very much. I could have a laboratory here. Now, well, that's interesting. The office bonus is minus 20%. The country wealth, because this is a poor country, adds an extra 30% in there. Actually, let's do that. That just gives me one more research point, but every point counts. And what do points make? Successful computers. That's what they do. So I do want to go there. I want to go here. Computers. Everything's going nicely. 72,000. Yeah, I could do with another market actually. I've still got 3 logistics points left. Who's... Uzbekistan. That's expensive though, that's 5 million. I don't want to spend quite that much money. Pakistan, no, these are all quite expensive countries now. Bhutan, that's 340,000. Oh, let's go into so it's a brutal data is one of my main competitors, I think. Shall I just
Your building upgrade has completed.
Let's just check that. There's a market share, brutal data, and IBM. They're the big players here. So if I can compete, although it's only a small market, I'll take something off them. And performance is my big selling point at the moment. Let's go Switzerland as well, shall we? Now, can I take that off them? Oh, yep, I'm taking something, definitely. Right, that's splendid news. We're selling more, let's move on a little bit faster. Each of these countries, would any of these... No. I keep forgetting to zoom in, I can zoom in on this. Yeah, they're all a bit expensive to go into at the moment. I think once I get my new site set up in Korea, I'll be fine. Any other sort of... which countries? Ethiopia, that's expensive. Central, that might be a good place to go. It's too expensive. All these rich countries are expensive to move into, which probably actually makes sense, doesn't it? Okay, anywhere over here? No, these are all very costly to go into. And I want to keep my money coming in for that new site. Actually, just a bit talking.
You have researched a new technology.
Right, we have a new technology. Which was the sound chip. So where's that gone? Why is that not on the done list? Come out there. Go back into research. Oh, because I'm sorting by performance. If I take that off, so nothing there is at the top. Excellent. The man was right. Well, he would be. He wrote the thing. Okay, so I can now build a sound chip into my new computers. So what we're going to do is we need to research the hardware first, of course. And this is going to be new. It's going to be... oh, hang on. Check this first. Rushing around. This goes on the motherboard, the affected areas. This is... I'm going to be rubbish at this when the full game is released and it has all the extra capabilities and functionality, because I keep forgetting things. It's ridiculous. Right, the motherboard. Okay, so we're going to create a new motherboard. There we go. Window sound. Yes, that's what it is. We're going to add here the DIN, passive cooling, PROM, the VLSI, and the 10mu, and the sound chip. Yeah, I'm a bit behind in terms of features and so on my competitors, as you can see here. But I can reduce that deficit a little bit. Can I get that down to 59? I can there. Okay, it's not much, but it's a little bit extra, and every little point counts. On here. Okay, so let's go back and create our new computer. We'll keep the game running to keep money coming in. So let's take the existing Tektron. We'll copy this, and I'll see if I can do it properly this time. So we'll call this one the 77-1 sound. It's basically the same computer but with an extra feature. We'll save that design. Go into it. We've got the same old accessories, i.e. none. The memory is the same, and one thing I've changed here is the motherboard. So we're going to go for this one. Look at that, it's a vast improvement in features. It costs a bit more, but people will pay that, definitely. I clicked the wrong part of that. Out of there. If you click there, it goes into setting up the hardware itself. So I need to double click on there. So that's got that in. Okay, and let's create that.
Your new
prototype.
computer model went into the testing phase.
And I'll work out the pricing when we get there. But as you can see already, the features is 50 as opposed to 24 something as it was previously. What I might do actually is recreate a copy of this. No, we need to copy it. Create a copy of this, but with the accessories on as well. We'll call this one the Sound Office. So that's it's a little cumbersome. Again, this whole thing I think is going to be re-evaluated and improved as the game progresses through early access. So add those two accessories, which should bump up the features even more. And let's create the prototype for that.
Your new computer model went into the testing phase.
Okay, I'm still being reasonably successful in selling stuff. Ooh, now do I have a Performance 8 CPU that I can sort of sponsor this game or get promotion from there? So my CPU performance. Let's clear all those filters and just focus on CPU. Oh, I do. My CPU performance is good enough for partnership with that game company. I'll buy that. And that's not going to come out until October, so I've got a couple of months before that sales benefit kicks in. Okay, excellent. Okay, so we're beating Brutal in Austria, which is good news. In fact, I think we're doing well everywhere. I think I'm winning in all the competitive areas, even Bosnia. What have we got up here? Russia. Oh, Russia's that's too expensive. Lithuania. Let's wait till the new computer comes out, and then we'll see where we are. There's such a temptation to keep pushing into new market areas. The interesting thing here, actually, looking at this, in the very top here, my percentage of the marketplace is 24.77, going up slightly. It's not that much more than it was at the beginning of the game.
Your new computer model is polished.
Even though I've got this huge new market in Germany. Again, it'd be so nice to know how many people are buying my computers, how many are actually selling in that particular country. Okay, my computer has been polished. So that's that one. And the feedback, still the fastest. Yay, go me, go me. Yeah, that's an odd UI thing. When you come out of the feedback, it takes you straight back to the main computer screen rather than the individual computer model you were looking at. Okay, so we can market this one 2250. See, that's the bonus of having extra sounds. Probably all just beeping and stuff. Beeping and beeping is all it will do at this stage of the game. Yeah, they're selling. Sell more, that's good. Okay, and my office one should be coming out of prototype quite soon. Speed up a little bit more. Okay, and I think I'm due a price cut on these older models. They're not selling at the moment. No, let's have a look at that. So let's take that one down to $13.99. I've got plenty of capacity in my factories.
Your new computer model is polished.
Doing that. So I'm not wasting capacity, I think. That's my understanding of it anyway. Okay, so they're selling now. Right, so this machine is ready to go to market, and we will sell this one at, with the printer and keyboard, 2249. Actually, can I make it a bit more expensive than the recommended price? I'm sure that won't hurt. And market that one. Yep, they're still buying it. Sometimes there are some products out there in the marketplace which you'll buy because they are expensive, because presumably fewer people
You have
will...
researched a new technology.
Ooh, excellent. Is that my keyboard? Sorry, my fax. Why am I going there? Go to research. Yes, it was the fax. Okay, now... Oh, this... That's an extra feature that fits in with my office designation, doesn't it? Right. Oh, go on. Let's add a new computer. This one here. We'll call it the Office Plus. It's now got a fax on it as well. Fax, there we go. Only has 5 feature points. That's all good.
Your new computer model went into the testing phase.
Okay, we're doing well. Still selling quite a few, but my cash balance isn't growing as fast as I want it to. That could be all the extra labs and stuff that I've been buying or building. I need a new marketplace. There's another one that likes performance that I can afford. There is this little one here in Lithuania. That's nearly 1 million. I'll go for it. I'm not quite sure why Germany hasn't quite given me the bump in. Whoops, didn't want to do that. Hasn't quite given me the bump up in sales that I was hoping for. That's looking okay. We're making 31,000 Computer Tech Tycoon dollars every day, which is cool. Just check my research. So what are we going to do after that? After the small floppy disk. Need to look on the new tab. Again, could go for the CPU. Well, that's going to take a while. SCSI would be interesting. Actually, let's... Ooh, built-in speakers. Or I'm thinking hard disk drive. No, not hard disk drive. Looking SCSI perhaps. Built-in speaker sounds like a good idea. I want to go for glass teletype at some point soon, because that starts taking us into more BIOS. So many choices to make. Yeah, I need more research points. I need extra laboratory space. And I think the thing here really is to sort of focus your research in line with what you're best at. Now, when I set the game up, I gave myself, I believe, if I remember correctly, I haven't gone back and checked, a research bonus. And as
Your
we've
new
seen,
computer model is polished.
as we've seen, my computers are faster than anybody else's in the market. So that's 2320. Market. Yep, that's good. I think we're doing that. Yeah, so performance is my unique selling point, so I should focus research in line with that, ideally. But they're kind of expensive, and I want some other hits. Now, the risk of sort of scattergunning research is that you sort of dilute your sort of key focus or the key purpose of your machines, which is to be fast, and sort of get lost in amongst all the other competitive machines. which I don't want to do because I'm not going to gain that advantage in terms of features or ease of use or whatever that the other companies have. Not for quite a few years anyway, if I do things right, that is, anyway. Let's keep moving this a bit faster. But okay, we will go for a joystick. We'll add that, and then we will go. Now, the one thing here which we're missing, which again is part of the roadmap for the game, is a research tree. So that you've got some idea of where each of these technologies will take you in the future. So if you're aiming for sort of colour displays, or if you're aiming for RAID discs, or sort of laptop development, then what of these particular components would you best focus your research in? We don't know that yet, and because I'm not that familiar with computer technology development, I can't tell. What's that one do? Those two, the BIOS and the bus, go together I think quite quick. I like the teletype because that gives us a proper display, so I'm going to add that. Yeah, and by then hopefully I will have more research capability. So I'm earning 24,000 a day. If I add a level, upscale my lab in where am I, Malawi, that will cost me 50,000 minus 30%, which is more than I'm getting in at the moment, so I don't want to do that. If I add one here, although it only gives me 1 point, it only adds another 2,000 to my costs. And if I increase my office, I'm just thinking, no, because that adds, the office adds 5,000 minus 20%. I think just a laboratory on its own, yeah, for the moment. So we'll build a new laboratory in there, give yourself another research point at least. Okay, we're coming up to the end of the year, and my market dominance is looking good. It doesn't look like my market share has improved much. I'm still on 24 point something %, which again, out of 5 competing companies, is not bad. It's certainly better than the 20% I would have if everything was shared equally. Okay, so there we are. We're in 1978. Right, let's check our statistics. Oh dear, sales went down. Everyone's losing out. We'll come back to that in a minute. Let's have a look here. My profit was only 101,000. Quite a slow. I'm looking at the wrong year. It's this one. I'm looking at 77. I've made 101,000 so far already in 78. But the year we've just seen is this one. So I made 7.5 million profit, which isn't too bad. Which included twice as much expansion as last year. Good. And I sold a bit more in terms of costs, in terms of revenue anyway. Sales. Oh, sales did go up slightly. That's good. As long as it's going up, I'm happy with that. My customers were mostly in Venezuela. Germany is a very small segment of that. Actually, I think that might be, let's just compare. Venezuela is an average wealth country, whereas Germany is very poor. Ah, yes. Now, again, referring back to the notes on the game, is in poor countries, their preference here tends to be outweighed by value for money. So you need to sell reasonably spec'd machines, but at very competitive prices. So maybe that's what's happening. Although I am the only player in that marketplace, my machines aren't quite cheap enough for these poor Germans to purchase. I have times have changed. Yes, I think that might be the focus then next year, of addressing that value for money proposition, as it were. Anyway, back to the stats. So my sales, yeah, Venezuela's the key player in my sphere of influence, and outside of that, Venezuela is the biggest buyer globally, and these other countries don't belong to me at all, apart from South Korea. So I've got two slices of the pie there, which isn't bad. My market share, is continuing to rise, however. That is good. That's in terms of sales, at least. So although these slices don't look any different really from what they were at the beginning of the year, interesting though that Brutal Data had a big slump a couple of years ago and is not recovering, and the other two big players aren't doing much either. So myself, Ultimate Tektron, wonderful name for my company, I must admit, and Dator Systems, the smallest player, we're the ones really improving, I think, in the last year. That's excellent. Our preference, as we've seen before, doesn't really change. Which I hadn't noticed. I might look at my previous settings, or previous recordings, see if this has changed. If this reflects the actual number of people buying computers and what their preference is. It's these graphs, this is just straight lines, that hasn't changed in years, as you can see. And Singularity, I'm currently 23 years old. There's a 0.14% of my character dying in this coming year. I think that's okay. I think as the years progress, things get darker and more difficult for your characters. They get health risks, there's sabotage, there's industrial espionage, all sorts of stuff going on to look forward to. And let's have a final look at our research. Yeah, we're halfway pretty much to our floppy disk drive. That'd be good to get that in there. And my computer sales, yeah, they're all looking pretty healthy, I think. Right, so that's it from me. Thank you very much for your time today. Hope you've enjoyed this episode, and if you have, do please leave us a like. And if you've got any ideas, thoughts, suggestions, recommendations, criticisms, anything you want to say, just put a note in the comments box below. And of course, if you've not done so already, thank you, please do leave a comment. Or if you've not done so already, please do subscribe to the channel, and that way you'll know as soon as I upload another one of these or any of my other Let's Play videos. Well, from me, Ajaxpost, here in Computer Tycoon. Shall I go there? Go there. Open that up. Oh, I haven't got a base in Venezuela. Silly man. Yeah, so I'll see you soon. Until then, bye bye for now.